If your life feels like it's changing faster than the people around you, you're not alone and you're not doing anything wrong. I'm talking about the grief, growth, and the grace of outgrowing old circles and learning to truly, honestly honor yourself and trusting the evolution that's unfolding in your life. Welcome to my testimonial. I'm sorry, my Transformation Tuesday. I'm Amanda Beth, an intuitive healer and wellness coach, and today's message has been showing up everywhere I go. I just spent the weekend doing live events. Friday night, I was at the Holistic Gypsy, and then we were doing a workshop and readings there. And then on Saturday, I was part of the Midwest Metaphysical Tour in Quincy, Illinois. And in these interactions, I got to really reflect after I was able to meet lots of different people, have some pretty amazing conversations. And the energy that, that thread that just was running through all of it, it was that our circles are changing. And I know we've talked a lot about alignment and we've talked a lot about growth, and but as we're doing this with so many people who are awakening and they're expanding, they're healing, they're growing, and so are you. And when you do this growth, your world changes. And I think that's kind of hard to accept. It's like, wait a minute, I'm growing, I'm doing things different, I'm doing things better, I'm being more positive, I'm doing all these things, but yet it feels really hard, and at first it feels really lonely too as your circle changes. We welcome everyone to grow with us, but the reality is that oftentimes our lives evolve faster than the lives of the people who are around you, and how you are able to walk this path with grace and love and self-respect. That's what I want to talk about today. So before we dive into all of this, just take a deep breath with me and allow yourself to arrive and to kind of get the juices flowing on how you feel about all this growth and if you've noticed any of these changes. So just take a nice deep breath, breathe it all the way in, clear down to your toes and let it go. Make noises when we sigh out as well, and that kind of is a nice relief in some of that mini little breath work that we do. So when we talk about the mirror, I've talked a lot about that mirror moment. And as I'm sitting there and I'm meeting with individuals and I'm talking with them, met with a fellow who I've met with before. And so I know him and I know his story, and he is just making so much personal growth, and having that moment to set my brain back in time and remember when I was learning the skills and learning how to do the work. And so when I worked with him, it was more a matter of, instead of me doing the work for him, it was walking him through and helping him to discover more of his own path and how he wanted to move forward with that. Yeah, we did some clearing and some healing and things, but it's so rewarding to watch people finding their own footing and their own things that they are doing. And as they transform into these awakened beings and helping them to access their own resources, that was really amazing. And then talking with individuals after the workshop and just kind of seeing where everyone is and finding that there are so many people with that changing circle, and that it's normal, it's to be accepted. It is part of the growth. And this was again reflected when I went on to the Midwest Metaphysical Tour in Quincy, Illinois. There were a lot of really amazing people that I had the opportunity to interact with. And one person really stands out specifically. As I spoke with her and we were doing an energetic scan, and and looking at where her blocks are. And then she shares with me kind of where she's at. She's highly empathic. She's highly in tune to everything and has not learned how to master that yet. And so we talked about that and then just so many of the things that she's going through. And it just reminds me that was me 5, 10 years ago, just feeling so incredibly lost. And knowing the steps, she clearly knows the steps of the things that she needs to do to continue her growth, but it's kind of lonely. And again, it's a reminder of those circles that change and being willing to let go of some of those beliefs and some of those patterns that they've gotten us this far. They served a place. There was a place that they needed to be, but we need to let go of them so that we can have this growth and move forward. I really wanted to just hold her hand and sit with her. And, I mean, I did. I shared with her that yes, I remember those days and it does get better. And she says, "Yeah, you're going to tell me like everybody else. It's hard, but it's worth it." Well, that's not the only thing. It's not that it's worth it. It's that you are worth it. You are worth those changes and you are worth continuing to invest in yourself. And that's what that I really wanted to talk about is how all of these changes, they feel so heavy and confusing, but it does get better. Those are the moments that remind me how far that I have come in the work that I have done and reminds me why I do what I do. I have come down this path a little bit further than a lot of folks, and I just want to be able to turn and shine my light to illuminate their paths and bring them along with the experiences that work for them and to guide them because we don't have to do any of this all alone. As we grow, our circles grow. And the one I throw back all the time is, your kindergarten best friend likely is still not your best friend in your adult life. Not because either one of you did anything wrong, but because you both grew. You found your life, you found your calling, you found your job, you found where you want to live. When you grow into those new roles, it doesn't always bring everybody with you. And that's how spiritual growth, it works in the same way. As you grow and as you change, the world around you changes too. Sometimes that means a new circle, and sometimes that means that we have to truly walk away and separate from those circles. So when your ideas expand and grow, your mindset shifts. And when you start living with that intention and that awareness and that self-respect, it's one of the first things that I work with folks, find that self-respect. When you respect yourself, then you're going to show the world how they are supposed to treat you, how they respect you. And as you are teaching the world how to treat and respect you, sometimes that confidence that you have creates changes in your circle. Your environment does change and matches who you're becoming. Some people will grow with you, and that's great and that's amazing. And some of the people around you, they're going to grow and they're going to grow in a different direction that doesn't include you. And that's fine too. You know, send them unconditional love and bless them on their trip that they find what they are looking for. But then there's some people who just aren't ready to grow yet. And those are the people that kind of fall out of your circle. And as you grow, you're going to find another circle that matches you. And these circles continue to change over your life. I mean, think back. Think back. Do you have the same friends that you had in elementary school, high school, college, the first place you lived, your first jobs? Some of those people stay with us, and some of those people don't. It doesn't mean that you have failed. It just means that you have evolved, and some people aren't ready to do that yet. This also does bring up some grief and guilt. That's one of the most painful parts of this, because as we look back and we reflect, we start to realize that not everyone can come with us, and not everyone is supposed to come with us. And that kind of messes with the things that we were taught. We were taught to be loyal at all costs, to sacrifice ourselves for others, and to stay quiet and keep the peace. And so many empaths are people pleasers. And the reality is that doesn't allow you to grow. This growth is going to bring you to a new question, to a new standards. And that's, can you love the people in your circle without abandoning yourself? It's kind of one of those secret passwords to be in the group. Can you love them without abandoning yourself, without going back on the work that you've done for yourself? And I'm not talking about cutting people off like a faucet, because that doesn't happen. As you grow and you embrace the changes that you've made, a lot of these people are just going to kind of fall to the wayside. It doesn't mean you don't ever have interactions with them. It just means where they fall in your priority list is going to be different. And that's when you respect yourself and you put yourself at the top of that list in that priority. When you become your own priority, then the things that you're able to give to others is such a higher quality as well. And not everyone is prepared to benefit from that version of you. And that's okay. That is okay. And that's where, when we look at what it is that we want to do, and so this is where we'll put in some theta healing here right now. And this is where, if you'd like the energetic exchange, just say yes out loud. Put it in the comments. If you're catching it on a replay, the energy is still there. So just comment #replay and yes. So let's remove the obligation that we have to stay stuck to meet other people's needs. And let's remove that it's a sin to choose yourself, because choosing yourself is not selfish. Let's remove that fear of being judged for our growth. Let's create alignment and discernment about that growth, about respecting yourself and creating what is safe and what it feels like when you make yourself a priority. you know um, that you know what it's like to evolve and to be safe and to be supported when you're expanding and growing, and know that you're gonna have the discernment to trust the right people as you meet them and they are able to receive you where you are in your journey and your path. um, we're gonna trust in our divine timing on this. If you would like those beliefs and downloads, just say yes out loud. Going to do that forgiveness work in there as well. Forgiving yourself, forgiving your higher power, and forgiving those people who got in your way. And remove whatever prevents you from accepting these new beliefs. Okay. So just remember that some people really, they come into our life for a season, for a reason. When the kids were little, I would talk about a phase, all the different things that the kids would do, especially the things I didn't like. I'd say, it's just a phase. It's just a phase. They'll outgrow it. The same thing is with people and seasons. So people come in for a phase or they come in for a season. There's a reason for them to be there. And not all seasons last forever. Some stay long enough to teach us something, and some return later in new ways. They do some growth and they catch up with us. You don't have to slam the doors and cut people off. You're not burning any bridges, and you don't make anybody wrong about it. You continue that focus on yourself, repairing and building and healing of yourself. And that way you're able to make better decisions, better judgment. And when you heal that stuff on the inside of you, you stop attracting those people that are your constant mirror of lessons. You keep attracting the same type of person, and you need to wonder, what is it that I need to work on in me so that I resolve this issue? Because we attract what we put out there. And that's that whole mirror things. Um, and so the circle that you choose needs to be the one that you feel like you're nourished, you feel supported, you like the expansion. And the people who are meant for you in your next chapter, the next circle, they're always going to keep finding you because that's what you're putting out there. And as I was preparing this today, I drew the Angel of Prosperity card because I like to finish all my work with my angel cards. And today I drew the Angel of Positivity. And she says, "My mind is filled with positive thoughts that nourish and heal my life. The positivity is not something simply opposing negativity. It brings transformation and creates clear vision and right action. To be positive is to know that the energy follows what we think and feel. If here and now we choose to create the most appropriate and beautiful reality, the energy will respond. The light of positivity goes through the tiniest crack in our awareness and soon reveals the way for the good of the whole." And I think that sums up a lot of what we've been talking about today is when you create that environment, when you invest in yourself, when you have respect for yourself and you're looking for the positivity in people, that's what you're bringing into you. That's the life that you're leading, that you're living, and that you're attracting as you heal those parts. So if there's anything today that resonated with you and you're ready to really navigate that season of change, I invite you to book an energy review, that signature blueprint scan with me. A lot of the sessions, they work on just kind of looking at where you're at and where you need to go to give you that direction of what is that block. And sometimes it's people, and sometimes it's our beliefs, and sometimes it's a whole lot of different things. But these sessions bring in that clarity, the direction, and some deep soul level understanding on what's unfolding in your life. You don't have to walk it alone. All the details are available at amandabethhealing.com. If you're ready to just dive into that blueprint, go ahead and schedule that. So thank you again for showing up and sharing this space with me. Your growth does matter. Your evolution matters. And when you look at it in those terms, you understand how those circles are changing. You didn't do anything wrong. They didn't do anything wrong. You're just growing and you're evolving, and you're always allowed to become who you were meant to be. So look me up on Facebook, on Instagram, and YouTube. I'm also on LinkedIn. So if you have trouble catching up with me, show up next Tuesday. We'll be back here with Transformation Tuesday live.